My name is Zoe. I am a belly dancer and a belly dance teacher. And in this video, we are going to be looking at how to dance to the hardest instrument to dance to. So this is part of a series I am doing called Taksim Tips, where we look at different instruments that are used in Middle Eastern music and how we can dance to them. I've already done several videos on different instruments. You can check them out if you want. But now we are going to look at what I think is the most difficult instrument to dance to, but possibly also the most important. Bellydance Breakdown. So let's jump right in. The most difficult instrument to dance to, in my opinion, is the human voice. Now, I know for some of you, you might not think of that as an instrument, but I would count it as another instrument and as an extremely, extremely important instrument in Middle Eastern music that we need to know how to dance to. It comes up all the time. So many songs make use of the voice, and the voice is very, very important in many ways. So we're going to talk about how the voice is used in Middle Eastern music. We're going to look at why I think it's the most difficult instrument to dance to. And then, of course, we will look at how we can dance to it. And then at the end, we are going to try it out on a little example. I'm going to go through just the beginning of a song. I'm going to translate it, and then we can try out together what we've learned. So let's talk a little bit about how the voice is used in Middle Eastern music. It comes up all the time. Many different styles of songs use the voice. So pop songs, obviously, shabi songs are very reliant on the singer. Folkloric music, you can have voice. And what is going to be our main focus, and again, what I think is the most difficult, would be your classical or Tarab songs. So these are those gorgeous, long belly dance classic songs, songs that were sung by the likes of Kulthum and Warda and many other famous singers. And they tend to have kind of a similar structure that they will follow. And they have these beautiful poetic lyrics. So it's very important to know how to interpret these songs and how to dance to them. And to me, these are kind of the heart of belly dancing. So I'm really excited to talk about them. So that is a bit of where you will find the voice in Middle Eastern music. Again, voice is super, super important for the audiences as well. It can carry the heart and the soul of the music. And there are two main reasons that I think the voice is so difficult to dance to. So the first reason is, like I said, the voice is carrying that heart and soul of the music. So as a dancer, especially in these classical songs at least, we kind of need to step back a bit and not let the dancing be the solo star of the piece. Yeah, we're sharing the stage a bit with the voice. So that can be a bit tricky because as belly dancers especially, we do a lot of solo dancing and we're kind of used to being the solo star. But when you have a classical song, you need to give the voice a lot of room as well to shine. So that's the first reason it's difficult. The second reason is because singers sing words. Words have a very concrete meaning. And first of all, we need to know what those words mean. But then second of all, I find it can be very difficult to both process words in this linguistic way, so in kind of one part of our brain, and then at the same time, we want to be dancing and expressing ourselves in this artistic, emotional way, which can often be kind of a different part of the brain, or it feels very disjointed, disconnected from the language. So our job as dancers is to somehow bring those two things together, the language and the feeling and the expression of it. So this is really, really difficult, and I think it's why it's so hard to dance to these classical songs. But when done effectively, it has such an amazing emotional impact on the audience and on you as a dancer. So let's talk about in detail, how are we going to dance to the human voice? So the first thing and the most important thing is anytime you are dancing to a human voice, to somebody who is singing words that have meaning, you need to know the meaning of the words and of the song you're dancing to. I know it can be a lot of work. Most of us probably do not speak the languages of the music that we're dancing to. Of course, if you do, great, then that's already like a huge chunk of work you don't need to do. But probably the majority, I would say, of belly dancers are people who are not coming from countries where, say, Arabic or Turkish or whatever that language is spoken. So you need to do your homework. Luckily for pretty much all of the classical songs, at least, these Tarab songs, you can find translations, certainly into English and into other languages as well. You just need to Google it, and for almost all of them, the translation is there. So in that case, you're pretty lucky. You just need to learn it, but at least you can find it. In other cases, it might be a bit more difficult, especially if you're dancing to a less well-known song. In those cases, you just need to try to find somebody who does speak that language and ask them to do you that favor, or do something nice for them as well, so that they will translate it for you. Because there are very few things worse, in my opinion, and more disrespectful than a dancer dancing to a song with no idea of what that song is about. And you might think that, oh, it doesn't matter because nobody in my audience is going to know what the song is about anyways, so I'll just dance the way that the music makes me feel and it'll be great. But really, you never know who might know what that song means, or if there's a video, someone else might see it. And again, it's just disrespectful, I think, to be taking a song in another language, dancing to it without even an idea of what it means. So if you absolutely can't find the meaning anywhere, then just don't dance to it. Pick another song, And of course, there might be some situation where you didn't choose the music. I don't know if it's some party and then you dance your set, but then afterwards the DJ puts on some other songs. Maybe you don't know it. Okay, in that case, yeah, there's nothing you can do. Then you just have to try to go with it. But whenever you are in control of the music, you need to do your homework, learn the meaning. At the minimum, learn the meaning of what the song is about. Like, what are the main things that are being expressed? What is the main feeling? And this is really important because a lot of times the music, there might be a song that sounds happy, but actually the lyrics are not at all happy. They're about someone in distress or someone really upset. And to you, it might sound happy, and it's actually not the case at all. Or the opposite. It could be this song that sounds really sad, but it actually has some really sweet, beautiful lyrics. So this is really, really important to get the meaning. And if you can, try as much as possible to know line by line, word by word, what is being said. And honestly, for this, I recommend actually studying the languages of the songs you dance to. And I'm not saying you need to become fluent. I know that's really difficult, but getting a basic knowledge of the language, especially getting a handle on just the basic grammar of kind of how it works, and some key vocabulary will go a really, really long way to helping you understand the songs. And luckily for us, most of these songs tend to use the same words over and over again. So like in Arabic, I mean, you probably already know habibi, right? Meaning my love. We all know this word. But you have like el, meaning heart, or ain, oyun, eyes. All these words about like love and passion and fire, eyes, heart, all of these things, they're in almost all the songs. So if you learn, there's probably like 100 basic words, and then if you learn those words, you would be really good to go for most songs. So I know it sounds like a lot of effort, but in the end, the effort you put in to study the basics of a language once, And then for every song, you kind of are able to quickly figure out the meaning with the help of these translations you find online, versus not studying the language at all. And then anytime you want to dance to a song, you have to start from scratch, and these words have no meaning to you. And you don't really understand when something means like to you or to me, or these kind of basic grammatical concepts. It's actually a lot harder. So I really recommend studying the languages of the songs you dance to, at least like if most of the songs you dance to are in Arabic, study some Arabic, or Turkish, some Turkish, or whatever language. So know the meaning of the song. That's the first and the most important step. But now let's get into, once we do know the meaning, how are we going to express that meaning? How are we going to dance, especially to a tarab or classical song? So in the Tarab classical song, you usually have different sections. Usually it starts with an instrumental section, and then you get the voice. And then there will be like a stanza that they sing. That's, again, it's usually these beautiful, poetic, dramatic lyrics. And then there will be another instrumental section, and then another vocal section, and so on and so on. Usually when we dance, we're just going to do like one or maybe two sections. We don't dance these whole songs because they can be really, really long. But one of the key things to remember is that in the instrumental sections, that's the time to do the big movements, a lot of the traveling movements and things like that. You want to do that during these instrumental sections, especially when you have a lot of instruments playing. And as soon as that solo voice comes in, we're going to calm down, and usually in these sections, I'm going to dance very much in place. I'm not going to move a lot. That's really key, and it's part of what I talked about letting the voice shine, because it's also a lot for the audience to process then, that there's these words with meaning going on, and if you're doing all these crazy movements as well, it's just too much. So we want to support the meaning, we want to show it through our movements. And most of the time, in fact, when there's the solo voice, the rhythm is usually wahda. I've done a video talking about how to dance exactly to that rhythm, so you can use those principles. It's a very simple rhythm, and it has a medium to slow pace to it, and it's just very much emphasizing that first doom. So that's kind of something you can use as well when you're dancing to the voice. If you have a wahda rhythm, as most songs do, you just have that doom, and then you will do some movement. But again, I would keep it generally smaller. Another thing to keep in mind is that often when you have this stanza of the solo voice singing, they will sing, and then there will be maybe an instrumental response. You can often have this kind of call and response going on. So in that case, I really, a lot of times, like to use the instrumental response as a transition. So I might be in one place while they're singing something, and then there's an instrumental transition, and I'll just do a little turn to the other side, something like that, or some kind of movement, changing position, something like that. You can use the instrumental responses for the bigger movements. And now, how are we actually going to dance to the voice? So here, the meaning is going to determine what you're doing, the meaning and the overall emotion of the song as a whole. So, for example, if they're talking about the heart, yes, we could just point to the heart, but I find that gestures can be a bit dangerous, especially overusing them. That can be a trap we fall into. But if we know that there's a line that mentions elbi, my heart, for example, I will probably do a movement that emphasizes the chest. So it could be a chest circle, or a chest drop, or rolling up into the chest, or a little chest 8. There's so many possibilities, even just kind of gesturing to the chest. And you don't have to do it for, obviously, every time they mention heart or for every single word, but have an idea for each line, at least, how you want to interpret it. So yeah, I'm not going to give you really specific moves because there aren't, it's not like, oh yeah, we always do hip circles when there's a voice. It's not that. It really depends so much on the meaning and how you want to interpret that meaning. Because here you have some artistic license to decide. If you know the lyrics, there's still some room to decide, okay, well, but what is the actual emotion? How am I going to present this to the audience? Another thing to keep in mind is, are you going to be expressing the singer, Or in some cases, are you going to be expressing the person the singer is singing to or about? So that's an important choice to make. Usually, especially in the Tarab songs, I find that I go with the singer. So I'm identifying with the singer and through my dancing expressing what they're talking about. But in other cases, for example, I did a dance to a Malaya song. And in this song, Bint al-Hitta, the singer is a male singer talking to some woman who's, probably walking down the street with her Malaya, and it's talking about, oh, your Malaya is so beautiful and all this stuff. So I chose to be that woman, which I think makes the most sense in that circumstance. So that's another thing to figure out. So once you are there and in the moment, usually I improvise to classical Tarab songs, especially because these songs are great to dance with live music. You can do choreographies to them, in which case then you can really plan out exactly how you're going to show the meaning. But when you are improvising, again, you want to think being calm, still, showing the emotion. It's really much more about emotion than technique when it comes to the Tarab songs. So now that I've done all that talking, let's actually look at a song and how we can dance to it. So we're only going to look at the first part of the song because otherwise it would just be too much. The song that we're going to be dancing to is called Akdeb, Aleyk. It is a song that was sung by Warda, very famous singer. And the title of the song, Akdeb, Aleyk, means I'm lying to you, or in the context of the song, it means more like I would be lying to you. Yeah, Akdeb, I'm lying, and Aleyk, to you. So luckily for us, those words, Akdeb, Aleyk, are the first words that are sung, and they are repeated a zillion times. So that's part of why I chose this song, because there's not too much that we would need to memorize in terms of the translation. So we have this Akdeb, Aleyk. It's repeated a bunch of times. And this is quite a shocking way to start a song. I mean, most of these songs are about love or loss of love and all these things. And here we're starting a song immediately telling someone that we're gonna lie to them, or we would be lying to them. So emotionally, it's already quite weird. There's already this kind of distance, this like dissonance between the singer and the person being sung to. There's something is not right, right? If we're telling someone we're gonna lie to them, something's going on. So going into the next lyrics after Akdeb, Aleyk, Akdeb, Aleyk, Akdeb, Aleyk, like 8 times, I think. The next line is Akdeb, Aleyk, la ulti bahabbek lissa. La ulti means if I said, so I would be lying if I said, or I would be lying to you if I said, la ulti bahabbek, I love you, lissa, still. Akdeb, Aleyk, I would be lying to you, la ulti, if I said, bahabbek, I love you, lissa, still. I would be lying to you if I said I still love you. So, okay, wow, that's a pretty harsh way to begin a song. The next line is Akdeb, Aleyk, la ulti nasitek hamsa. And that means I would be lying to you if I said that I forgot you for even a second or even a brief moment. So just these first few lines, we're in this kind of crazy state. Okay, I would be lying if I said I still love you. We think, okay, someone has fallen out of love with their partner. It's sad, it's almost mean and cruel even to say this, but then they're saying, I would be lying to you if I said that I even forgot you for a second. So there's a lot of confusion going on in this singer's heart, we can imagine. And I'm not going to do the rest of the song, but if you go on and look at the rest of the lyrics, you can see that the song, it's kind of about a couple where their relationship has lost its spark. It's lost this kind of beautiful love that was once there, and yet there is still something there. There's still something kind of keeping them together. And the singer is saying, just give me an answer, tell me what to do. Like, do I still love you, or I still love you, but do I only love you because I used to love you? So it's really torn, this state of mind. And again, you can decide how you want to dance to it. Do you want to dance this in like a very kind of cold, almost unfeeling way to someone? I mean, it's actually quite cruel to be saying like, yeah, I don't love you anymore, but I still feel things for you. You could say, well, they're kind of playing with this person's heart in this way. Or are you going to do it in a more very sincere, lost, confused way? You have all these decisions to make. So that's only 3 lines, and there's a lot of emotional content there. So to sum up, the way I would dance this, Akdeb Aleyk. Aleyk means to you. So I'm going to want to do something on that Aleyk, something that shows you, and you is probably going to be your audience. And there are zillions of ways to do it. I wouldn't recommend pointing, but you could just do something like this. So using gestures is fine when not done too much, or something like this. So you're bringing, the motion is to the audience, who is going to be you, to whoever you decide is that Aleyk. So whatever it is, something that conveys to you, yeah? It can be anything that I would say is some movement towards someone else. That's what I would do, at least not on all of them, because again, it repeats so much, but at least on the first one and maybe some other ones. So that happens a lot. And then we have that again, Akdeb Aleyk la ulti bahabbek lissa. So again, here, decide how you want to dance to it. Probably, like in my case, it's a bit sad for me. It could be more on the cruel side for you, or the even, I don't know, disgusted or sweet. It could be sweet because the person still kind of loves them and maybe they wish that they did. So decide emotionally. In terms of the music for that part, it's a bit faster. So I might do some small hip drops in place. Again, everything is going to be very small. Or a little movement, something like this. It's a lot of interpretation. And then the Akdeb Aleyk la ulti nasitek hamsa. So again, this ek ending usually means you. So they say bahebbek, love you. Nasitek, I forgot you. So again, nasitek, you could decide if you want to do something about forgetting, I don't know, something. You can be very creative here. Or you might want to emphasize that hemsa, that even for a moment, so maybe it's a bit hopeful, like this person still loves them. So those are just some ideas, but the great thing is that you have so much freedom here to make artistic choices. Just as I said, the first and most important step is to know the foundational meaning. And from there, you are free to bring whatever emotions and interpretations you feel fit best and that fit for you in that moment. You might dance a song one way one day and dance it a different way another day. And that's also great about these songs. So all that being said, I know it can be quite difficult to do, but let's just turn that song on and try it out, really keeping those meanings in mind. You can go back and review them if you forgot. I know that if you're not used to it, it takes a long time to stick in your head. So please go back and get them in your head, and then when you're ready, go to the next step, and we will try to dance the beginning of that song.
أكدب عليك 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 لو قلت بحبك لسه أكدب عليك وأكدب عليك لو قلت نسيتك همسة أكدب عليك لسه أكدب عليك وأكدب عليك لو قلت نسيتك همسة أكدب عليك أمال أنا إيه.
I hope you had fun dancing to that little taste of Tarab. This was a brief introduction on how to dance to the hardest of all the instruments, the human voice in classical Tarab songs. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you are interested in dancing to the rest of this song, just leave a comment, let me know. We could do a video where we go into the rest of the lyrics. There's really not that many more. And we could look at how to dance to those. Thank you so much for watching and happy practicing.